Hey guys, this is Rainwolf,
Hey guys, Kyrda Silverheart here.
And this is Asuna Silverheart.
and welcome back to Yashahime. Well, it's been a week for me.
Yeah, you have been through the ringer there, sir, with NekoCon and a whole bunch of other stuff going on.
Luckily, this week will be a catch-up for podcasts, hopefully.
And luckily, we also have Asuna coming back this week with us. Hey, boo.
Hey, it's good to be back.
So last week, guys, we decided to skip doing Yashahime because of schedules and everything going on. Last week was just a pretty straightforward, basic episode. We essentially focused on the backstory of Hisui and what got him into being a demon hunter. He felt displaced by his family for the simple fact of his twin sisters. One became a monk like his father. The other took over his mom's family business of providing weaponry for the demon hunters and everything. So he just felt out of place. And he hooked up with his uncle one day and, was out in the middle of a fight with his uncle and said that, the fact that he couldn't defend himself in that time and his uncle had to take care of him, it motivated him to join the demon hunters and start training. The rest of the episode was not so much a monster of the week, I guess that you could say. It was just a filler. So yeah, last week was basically just Hisui's backstory. The main plot of the episode was that really irritating princess that was pissed off at Moroha for getting dirt on her outfit and tried to have her killed came back and kidnapped Setsuna while she was sleeping to try and get her to fill in as her etiquette stunt double for the lessons she was supposed to take. At the same time, Hisui was suckered into being the etiquette teacher for this princess by his sister, who just didn't want to deal with it and instead went and ran errands and did things with her other sister. They tried to get Hisui and the princess to hook up at some point.
Someone's gonna cut a bitch.
Yeah, but God bless Hisui. He's just so
Oblivious?
He's so focused. Yeah, well, okay. I was trying to be nice. He's oblivious. That's the best word for it. But anyway, that's the basis of last week's episode. So, moving on.
So we start off with this week's episode with Setsuna and Toa. They're up on a mountaintop. Setsuna's playing the violin. Toa is playing the flute. It's just a delicate start of an episode. And then we have a rock demon.
It looked like a Pokemon.
It looked like a golem.
But he looked like a Pokemon version of a golem. I wasn't afraid.
Well, golem is a Pokemon, but not that particular golem. I was talking about like mythical, magical golem.
I know, but like he just looked like a Pokemon. Like, I don't know.
No. A more accurate, more of a Digimon, really.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, there is that rock Digimon that this looked like it could have been like an evolution of. Actually, I think it's Rockmon, come to think of it. But this intro actually this intro actually answered a question that I had as to why Toa didn't just replace the sword in her sheath with the other sword.
And why is she still carrying it?
Yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't really answer the question of why she still carries that particular sword, but at least now I understand why she doesn't just replace the sword for the new sword.
When it's not in use.
It's because it reverts back to the flute.
Uh-huh.
So that's kind of a neat little, hey, I have a secret weapon type of deal. I kind of like the idea of that.
I agree. And Toa is still stupid, because this golem pretty much almost self-destruct on her ass.
Yeah, she hesitated. She hesitated to kill it. It was like, please don't kill me. And she's like, oh, okay. And I was like, I try to give her the benefit of the doubt. I was like, she's
trusted
just
that
naive.
barrier a little too much.
She's stupid. I don't know what else to say about her. She's dumb. She makes bad decisions, but I think she's starting to learn from the bad decisions. One can only hope. That this episode's the beginning of her learning.
I'm just gonna jump straight into it. Kohaku throws her under a bus in this episode.
Thank God somebody finally called her out other than her sister.
Yeah, she needed it. She really effed up there because that rock golem was gonna mess her up, and she had the opportunity to kill it, and she didn't. And yeah,
and Susuna even brings it up that any demons that are causing misfortune or disturbances, they just need to just kill them because they're just going to cause more problems.
Well, and that was more or less in relation to the mission that they were currently on. They technically are under contract to take care of the situation. And now that they know that that there were multiple demons and they had this like grand leader type of deal, they weren't going to leave until basically the nest was destroyed. Until they could guarantee that this wasn't going to be a thing. I love the fact that Setsuna just looks her sister straight in the eye and deadpan face says, "Maybe you should return to the other world. I can handle things here by myself."
And it comes into a pan issue of that. It's like later on, before going in too deep with that, because that is for the perspective we see from Susuna on why she says that a little later. We also get back to Muraha. She's dressed up as a umbrella demon, like a lesser demon, and there's this mask in the rocks. And they even make out that her priestess ability, her purification be painful. And she, after all this, she's like, "No, my priestess abilities are not that strong." She doubts herself.
But I love the fact that that these like glowing eye. Okay, these are like some weird masks in the side of a cave wall.
But they kind of like they're interdimensional beings by the looks of it because of the way they teleport away.
Maybe, I guess. But I love the fact that they were just like, yeah, the Grand Priestess had a daughter. She calls herself Moroha the Demon Slayer. The priestess was the one that slayed Naraku. And like the little sweat bubble pops up on Moroha's disguised face. And that makes me wonder, like, was this her acting to make it seem like this umbral demon would be concerned about how strong this demon killer could possibly be? Or was this Moroha realizing, shit, my mom was a badass?
I think it's her learning more and more about her parents because she's fully oblivious to who they are. She knows their names, but she doesn't know anything about their past.
This is true.
And Takachiko shows up after she leaves the mountain and saying, "I have a mission for you. I'll pay you 1 Ryu." And I'm glad to see that she's down to the last bit of her debt.
Well, she's also been down to the last bit of her debt for the last like 3 episodes.
But this is enough.
Well, it even brings it up that she's had a hard time because they keep running away.
Well, they either run away or, they obliterate everything and she can't provide proof for the bounty.
True. So now we get a scene of Lady Zero, Rion, and a little bit of Riku.
Yeah, just enough.
And Rion tries to talk Zero into helping destroy Karimaru, but even she says, like, "No, I'm going after the half-blood princesses." And Rion doesn't like this at all.
No, it appears like Rion was very close to her aunt at some point. Like they seem to be like, and even Zero, when she sees her, there's a sound and a concern to her voice. So apparently she was at some point close to her, but now it doesn't matter. Zero's just hell bent on destroying the girls. Mm-hmm. Like nothing else matters. Even her brother, she doesn't care about anything else but killing the half-blood princesses. Nothing else matters to her. But, we all know all of that. So, and Rion was it was kind of sad. Because I think that was really her last shot at some type of family helping her. And it's almost like she's gone. She's lost that in a way.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, damn, sweetie, a lot's changed in the last 600 years. Mm-hmm. I do like the fact that because of this conversation, Zero now knows the threat that she's up against because Rion tells her that Setsuna used the Yukari no Tachikiri to sever the fate strand between her and Kirimaru. Mm-hmm. So now Lady Zero's like, oh, so she has a weapon that can handle the Blood Blade. Crap, I need to move up my timetable.
Mm-hmm. And then pops back over, and it shows that with Suna, um, with a little bit more on the details of what happens when Toa's being shown, or even Hitsui even makes when he throws that boomerang, and Toa just dodges it, but doesn't run. It kind of influences more on her a fear to run away, and I'm guessing that taps onto her situation of what happened with Setsuna in the beginning. She's afraid to lose her again.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Is she wants to build herself as this great protector of her sister because she feels bad that, they got separated as children and she spent, most of their lives without each other. I don't know. It's a
really
mix
it's
between...
opposite. Yeah. It's really the opposite. Setsuna is actually the protector, but Toa has a difficult time accepting that. Like, Toa has a hard time accepting that she isn't as traversed to deal with this place. And like you said, it obviously is the fear that she had early on of losing her sister again and things like that. But yeah, it is...
Just to bounce off of that real quick, even though this is a little further ahead, but Riku even brings up the point about Toa. You see yourself as a protector, but you need the protecting.
Yeah, It's very true. And she really doesn't want to accept it. Like, she wants to be, she wants to be as powerful and all these things, but she's not. She's just and she, something called out later that makes a lot more sense with this whole thing. But we'll get to that in a minute.
So, jumping over a little bit, it goes over to now, we find out what has happened on the Raccoon Dog clan side. Our old friend is actually alive.
Yay, Hachi!
When we all thought he was dead.
I also misunderstood. I thought that Hachi was Takachiyo's father.
I think we all did.
That's what we thought.
But no, that's not how it went. So...
Yeah, Takachiyo just refers to him as my elder.
Yep, but he calls him as young master, so he's somewhere on the hierarchy. Yeah, he's somewhere on the hierarchy. As you said, he's probably an elder of some sort.
Yeah, and we get to find out that this weird-looking bird that Takachiyo was talking to is actually Takamaru, his vassal. So, new character, yay.
And they're talking about the fortress of the Wolf Demon Tribe. I'm like, wow, like, wait, what? Where did the Wolf Demon Tribe come into play? I thought there was only one tribe, one grand tribe for the Wolf Demon Tribe.
No. There were, I believe there were two.
Because I thought they all merged originally.
That's what I was thinking too, that they had merged at the end of Inuyasha, unless they've split up again. Maybe, but there were at one point, there were two of the larger tribes, but
yeah,
they had merged. I don't know if, like I said, if they've maybe split up again
to help repopulate themselves.
Well,
because their type of demon was
there was
dying
almost
out.
One tribe that was completely eradicated. I remember there was like a demon, an episode where there was a demon that was killing them or something. So, like, yeah, but I was with you. I thought they merged into one larger one. But I guess at some point, maybe they've split off again. Maybe.
And probably someone.
Yeah, and maybe we'll get into that later. So this is an interesting piece of information, though. So we'll have to keep track of that and see if it's actually true that there's two, or maybe it's lost in translation, or maybe maybe they've retconned something, but we'll figure it out. So,
and also this is a point where Muraha thinks that what she saw, because Muraha doesn't register that the place she was at where she saw her parents was the in-between living and the dead. But from this sentence, she thinks, was that the afterlife?
Well, and it's because Hachi is under the assumption that because as he was fleeing, he saw Kirinmaru and Shishomaru, he assumed, hey, these guys are dead. I haven't seen them in years. They're dead. When in all reality, they're very much alive, just in another plane.
And who they're facing now is the evil full moon raccoon dog. I'm guessing this is a branch of their species. And they even bring up who sealed him before was Lady Kagome.
Was this something that came up in the original series?
I don't remember. Because if it did, it might have been one of the side, like, Demons of the Day type deal.
It's a possibility. I don't recall it either. But obviously there's some history here, so I may have to go back and read up and see what that is. Like, I'm sure I'm with you. It may have been one of those Demons of the Day type episodes, and it's been so long ago. It's been so long ago.
Or a cleanup after Naraku's whole situation.
Yeah, which needed to happen, because there were like demons there's just ridiculous amounts of demons that you don't even know what they are. Like, they're reaching with the type of demons they had. So
yeah, because the miasma that he would emit kind of affected demons in some weird ways.
Stuff with that. So yeah, but obviously there's something going on there, and but that's why they did say that it was good that they had brought Maroha, because her spirit powers. So she had the same powers of like her mother's,
even though she doesn't believe her spirit abilities are that strong.
Which I think she
and she got ballsy.
I think she let's call it that. Yeah. I think she got derpy is what she got later, but I'm
just gonna say what she does now at this moment when they get to the castle is Inuyasha.
We talked about this before. Like, she has her father's personality flaws and her mother's like attitude. Like, yeah, there's brains. Like it's. Or maybe it's her father's attitude and her mother's personality. I don't know exactly how you would, but you could see both of them.
This one's really hard to put on the way to put her, like, because her personality, her attitude, her brains, they're all, like, a mix of both of them. There's really no solid
she's
ground.
She's a nice mix of chaotic good, is what it is. That's the best way to put it. She's a lovely mix of chaotic good. So, but yeah, she definitely had a bit of a derp moment when they were at the castle. But,
yeah, because she gets frozen by an eyeball.
That was hilarious. I'm sorry. I just thought she was like, "I got this," and that eyeball's just like, "No, you don't. You do not."
And
that eyeball looks very familiar, and I believe we've seen it in the past. Maybe not. I believe probably back in the original. That eyeball looked real sus. Yeah.
It does look familiar. So now we leave Muraha and it transfers us back over to Toa and Setsuna. And this is where Setsuna tells Toa, in the morning, I'm leaving. You are to stay here. Don't cause any trouble. Because she's going on this expedition.
We did kind of gloss it. We did kind of skip over one segment. And that is where Kohaku is training Toa, like testing her. And this is kind of around the whole Muraha accepting the deal with Takachiyo and Hachi. But as he's testing her and kind of training her, he launches an attack at her, and he flat out tells her to dodge, and she doesn't. And he proves to the point to her, by inverting his weapon and aiming for her gut, that, you apparently have some deep-seated issue in your heart that you refuse to run away, and it's okay to run away. You're the daughter of Shishomaru. You're going to have a lot of stuff coming at you, way more than anybody else is going to.
He ends up bringing up there's only like 2 people he's never seen run, and Shishomaru, of course, was one of them. But like he all and
Kikyo,
Trikyo.
Well, technically not Trikyo in this case. It's the actual Kikyo.
Yeah, it was actual Kikyo. But he talks about that, and he even tells her, it's like, but they had a reason. They were that badass. They don't have to run away.
They were confident in their abilities, and they knew that anyone that attacked them, they were going down. There was no doubts about it.
And that's the difference. Toa doesn't have that. She's not completely confident in everything she does. So
She's not confident. She has that hesitation when that final blow.
She's very empathetic.
You can't have that hesitation.
Not in a world full of demons. And they know, and Toa knows too now, she's a liability. She could get one of them or herself killed,
And it actually shows up in this whole fight when they're fighting the boss, Golem, Rock Demon, whatever we call
Titan wannabe from 14.
Yeah, he's Titan's little brother. Because Setsuna flies off Squall of Swallows, and she has to actually project it to destroy the rocks that are coming after Toa because she doesn't. And she even told her to dodge. But in this case, when she goes to attack again and he recovers himself, she even hesitates right at that final blow. She stops, and the golem attacks her, and then swings at Setsuna and sends her flying again.
That's something I didn't understand, was what was that hesitation? Because she just looks, and he's got this menacing look and these piercing, glowing red eyes, and it's like, this dude's bad news. He's evil. Why are you hesitating? Like, are you... It is almost inconceivable to believe that she is that fucking stupid. We have seen her not hesitate in the past.
She's too...
And the fact that she does here, I don't get it.
It's always at the situations that it needs to happen. She always tends to fail because she always second guesses herself.
Yeah, it's that lack of confidence. It's exactly what that is. She does not have that confidence that she needs, and she even calls it out on herself. She's naive. She is naive.
Yeah, and the weird thing is now after she's been Setsuna's been swung back. And he's about to pull his self-destruct move on him. She absorbs the demon injury, casts his twin Azure Dragon Wave.
Twin Azure
You'll get
Dragon
it one of these
Wave.
weeks.
One day. and she
takes him out.
Yeah, she has the power. Like, she has the ability. It's just she doesn't have the self-confidence. Not at all.
No. And this is from where I brought up earlier, where Riku, because he sees the finishing of this fight, and this is where the words from Riku that were brought up earlier, that you're not the protector, you are the protecting.
And I agree with you. Like, it
Toa needs a good ass beating.
Well,
I don't think Kiromaru's beating was enough.
I figured
what
that
happened is Shishomaru needs to show up and whoop the shit out of his daughter. I'm sorry.
I thought after her sister died, pretty much, and she had to bring her back, that was the end of Toa having some issues. Like, apparently, Toa's issues are much deeper than we're even dealing with. But, like, I'm with you. Like, I was the one that was always like, oh, she's just naive. She'll learn. She's not learning. Like, how...
The problem with this is...
She keeps making this...
If Shishirma won't give her a good ass whooping...
Some other demon...
Then let Jockin do it.
Let
Jockin whoop the shit out of her. Jockin could take her ass. No,
Jockin would die.
Could take her ass because she's a
pushover.
Yeah,
that's true. True.
But I'm sorry, if Shishomaru is ballsy, and if Shishomaru is Shishomaru enough to potentially sacrifice the woman he loves by severing the dream butterfly and forcing Setsuna to strengthen herself and form her bond with her weapon, he can show up, bitch slap Toa around for about 15 minutes and say, get your shit together. And
I think it's important too, though, that they're separating. I do think this will be good to have them separate, because then that's going to have to happen. Like, Setsuna's going to have to leave so that Toa is, comes into her own, I guess. And I mean, that's what's going to have to happen, because otherwise it's just going to be this vicious cycle of Toa either trying to protect her sister and failing horribly, or Toa just having no self-esteem and getting everybody killed. Yeah, like, something's going to have to give here. So hopefully, them separating will be for the best, at least for temporary, and It's so no. There's only so long they can play this. There's only so long they can do this.
Can they just kill Toa off and call it a day like Muraha and
I mean, it would still be the half-blood princesses, even if you lost one of them.
I feel like what would have redeemed Toa more is if Toa had been the one that died and then just came back as a badass. Like, I think that would have been more redeeming. Like, if she would have died... No,
I think Toa would still be the Toa we know if she died.
Hell, she'd probably be even more of a freaked out, scared little wimp. Because she'd be like, oh no, if I die again, I can't be resurrected. I can't fight. I have to give up battle, blah, 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 blah. When you have the single most BA power out of all three of the princesses right now, you can absorb demon energy and reflect it. Like, you didn't even have to engage in combat. You held up the sword, you sucked him dry, and you fired it back at him.
And, like, her mother was a literal child. Like, through the whole of Inuyasha. Her mother's, like... She was
a ballsy than Toa.
Rin was a BA. Like, for an 8-year-old, like, she owned it. And I'm just like, your mother was a literal child dealing with demons, and she was not a bit afraid. She's just like,
and
okay.
She was full human. She was full human.
Human.
I mean, there were episodes where... Okay.
Toa, go jump in a ditch, please.
You guys know, I'm a big Moroku fan. Like, I just love Moroku in general. There were episodes where Rin was even more badass than Moroku.
Yeah.
And Rin's not afraid to die. Rin's not afraid to die, not one bit.
She's died twice.
She's died many a times, and she's just like, she's offered to kill herself for her children. There's no F's given. Like, so I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Let's jump into this preview.
I was confused by the preview, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot going on, and it's all very choppy.
It is, and I think it's gonna be more a Muraha episode for this next episode, but they're also looking more deeply into it, probably not. It's probably gonna be another jumpy
It was very jumpy. There was stuff about hand lotion. You see the raccoon demon early on, then there's a demon in the sky, then there's something about Lady Zero being a bitch. I was very confused by the whole thing. It was a lot.
And then Toa has standing next to her is the one spirit that we kind of don't want Kirimaru to have.
Yeah.
Because it'd be the end of the world.
I don't know if they're setting us up for, like, when, like, the eventual, like, Toa messes up and Kirimaru ends the world, so that way we're not surprised.
At this point, I prefer him into the world.
I mean, Toa was the one that gave the damn pearls to Riku.
Oh my god, Zero. I'll never forgive her for that.
This preview is very jumpy, and there's really no way to tell what next way is going. So, leaving it at that, I know a number of people have, but anyone that attended NecoCon or missed out on NecoCon this year, check out the videos we posted. We posted a number of videos. We have the opening, the closing, 2 of the voice actors from Black Clover, Todd Habercorn, Johnny Young Bosch, and we also have the Masquerade posted. Check them out. Also, we'll be getting back into Blood, hopefully, in the next couple weeks, or if we just decide to leave Unspoken out for a week, me, Grizzly, and Kirito will jump in.
And who knows, maybe we'll have a surprise force for that too.
We will see. Come and check us out. I'm Rainwolf.
This is Kirito Silverheart.
This is Asuna Silverheart.
Leave a like, comment, maybe even subscribe, and until next time.
Bye.
Bye.